Okay, so what if I told you that the daily Islamic practices you do are actually a form of leadership training? Yeah, it's a pretty powerful idea, maybe even a little counterintuitive. We're not just talking about a list of rules today, no, we're talking about how fiqh is literally designed to build you into a leader from the inside out. Let's get into it.
So this is it. This is the core idea for our entire conversation today. Fiqh is leadership. Nothing more, nothing less. I mean, that's a bold claim, right? And it's probably not what you were expecting to hear. So let's spend the next few minutes really unpacking what this means and why it's such a complete game changer.
All right, so first up, a surprising claim. And look, I totally get it. Hearing fiqh is leadership might sound, well, a little weird at first. For most of us, that's just not the first thing that pops into our heads. So let's just tackle that common perception head on.
I mean, let's be real. When you hear the word fiqh, your mind probably jumps straight to rules, doesn't it? You know, a big list of do's and don'ts, what's halal, what's haram, and look, you're not wrong, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. What if all of that is just the framework for something so much deeper?
Okay, so if it's not just some rule book, then what is it? And that brings us right to our next section, where we're going to uncover what fiqh really means. It's time to look beyond the surface and see this incredible system for personal growth that's been hiding in plain sight all along.
And this slide just nails the shift in thinking we're talking about. Over on the left, you've got that common view, right? Fiqh as this external checklist. But look to the right. The real purpose is all internal. It's about developing a deep, profound understanding, creating an inner compass that guides you. It is, quite simply, the art of self-leadership.
And this is where it gets really cool when you look at the definition. At its absolute core, the word fiqh is about deep comprehension. It's not just knowing, it's understanding. It's a mental framework for thinking critically, for making wise decisions, and yeah, for leading your life with clarity and purpose. It's an active process, not a passive one.
And this is the key takeaway, right here. Fiqh is self-leadership. Seriously, think about it. It's like a daily training ground where you learn to manage your impulses, your time, your emotions. It teaches you to lead yourself first. Because let's face it, you can't effectively lead anyone or anything else until you've mastered that.
Okay, so this is where all that theory becomes real. In this next section, we're diving into leadership in daily practice. How do these simple, everyday acts of worship secretly double as like an elite leadership program? Let's break down a few examples.
Let's start with something we all do multiple times a day, wudu, or ablution. At first glance, it just looks like washing up. Simple, right? But what's the hidden leadership skill here? It all comes down to one word: preparation. Wudu is all about turning that mental chaos into focused intention. I mean, before every single prayer, you're not just physically cleansing yourself, you are mentally hitting the reset button. You're clearing away all the noise to focus on the goal. And that's huge, because great leaders don't just react, they prepare.
And now, let's talk about Salah, the 5 daily prayers. This is a total masterclass in time leadership. Seriously, each prayer trains a different leadership muscle. Fajr, that builds raw discipline. I mean, getting up when it's hardest. Zohor forces you to find balance right in the middle of a chaotic day. Asr is all about relentless consistency. Maghrib sharpens your awareness of transitions, of beginnings and endings. And finally, Isha teaches you the crucial importance of completion, of ending your day with purpose. It's a whole system.
All right, next up, a practice that is a true test of our will, something millions of us undertake every single year: fasting.
Yeah, fasting is nothing less than a boot camp for emotional leadership. It trains you, day in and day out, to master patience and self-control, especially when you're tired or hungry or maybe a little irritable. But more than anything, it's about learning to tell your most basic primal impulses, not right now. And believe me, that ability to override instant gratification, that is an absolute superpower for any leader.
And finally, let's take a look at the pillar of zakah, or obligatory charity. Okay, so how does giving something away connect to leading?
Well, this is all about social leadership. Zakah literally hardwires a sense of responsibility for the people around you. It's not just a transaction, not just writing a check. It's a training exercise in empathy, in generosity, and in understanding that a true leader is deeply invested in the well-being of their entire community.
So when you see all these examples laid out like this, that statement on the screen starts to really click, doesn't it? Fiqh is leadership.
Each one of these practices is a deliberate building block. The whole system is designed from the ground up to forge leaders.
And this brings us to the big question, so what? Why does any of this matter for you? Well, because when you start to see fiqh this way, you realize you're not just fulfilling obligations. You're actively assembling an incredibly powerful leadership toolkit.
And these are the specific, real-world tools you're putting in that kit. We're talking about things every great leader needs. Skills like rock-solid self-discipline and time management, deep emotional control and a powerful sense of purpose, confidence, responsibility, respect. This is the amazing toolkit you're building every single day.
And that is why this perspective is so critical. This internal framework becomes your foundation for success everywhere you go. I mean, whether you're leading a project at work, managing your home, or stepping up in your community, the skills are exactly the same. Mastering yourself is always the first step to mastering any challenge out there.
And that brings us to our final section, the journey ahead. We've kind of reframed fiqh, haven't we? From a simple rulebook into this dynamic system for self-leadership. So let's bring it all home.
So yeah, we end right where we began, but hopefully this statement feels completely different now. Fiqh is leadership. Your daily practice, it isn't just a ritual. It's your personal, built-in leadership academy.